You know, every empire, it has a blueprint, right? A formula for power. But have you ever stopped to wonder who wrote the first one? Well, to find out, we've got to go way back, over 4,000 years ago to ancient Mesopotamia. We're going to find the origin story of the empire itself, and we're going to talk about the Akkadians. Okay, so let's really think about this. I want you to imagine a world with no empires. None. Just a chaotic patchwork of cities, all constantly at war with each other. How do you take that mess and forge a single, unified state under one ruler? That was the big question facing a man named Sargon of Akkad. And his answer, well, it created a model that would last for millennia. All right, so to really get what Sargon did, you first have to understand the world he was born into. This was the land of the Sumerians, and it was a place of incredible firsts, for sure. But it was also a mess, a brilliant but totally broken world. I mean, the contrast here is just wild. On one hand, you've got the Sumerians basically inventing civilization as we know it. The first cities, complex writing, these amazing towering ziggurats. But on the other hand, my gosh, their society was trapped in this brutal, endless cycle of war. And there was this massive gap between the rich and the poor, so bad that regular people often had to sell their own kids into slavery just to survive. It was this incredible civilization, but it was also incredibly fragile and honestly just ripe for the taking. And the guy who was going to do the taking, he was a total outsider. Sargon of Akkad wasn't royalty, he wasn't a priest. The legend says he started out as a humble cupbearer, the son of a priestess who abandoned him in a reed basket on a river. He was, for all intents and purposes, a nobody. And yet, this nobody rose up to challenge the most powerful Sumerian king around, a guy named Lugal-Zaggisi, and he set out to build something the world had never seen before. So what was his secret sauce? How did he pull this off? Well, he had a 4-step blueprint, and it was revolutionary. First, he created a professional army that was loyal to one person and one person only, him. Not to a city, not to some local god, to the king. Second, he just shattered the power of the old guard, replacing all the local Sumerian elites with his own hand-picked, loyal Akkadian governors. Third, he unified this sprawling, diverse territory by making his language, Akkadian, the official language of government. And finally, he pioneered a new kind of power, a cult of personality built on pure propaganda, a little bit of fear, and a whole lot of awe. And that right there, that system, that's exactly why we call Sargon history's very first emperor. See, he didn't just conquer a bunch of places. He invented a system for controlling them. He created the playbook that basically everyone, from the Babylonians all the way to the Romans, would end up copying for thousands of years. But the blueprint didn't stop with Sargon. Oh no. His successors kept building on his work, but it was his grandson, a truly formidable guy named Naram-Sin, who took that blueprint and perfected it, pushing imperial power to its absolute mind-bending peak. Under Naram-Sin, the empire became an economic juggernaut. The capital city, Agade, was the center of the world, a hub for a massive trade network. You had goods flowing in from all corners of the known world. Cedar from Lebanon, precious stones from all the way over in Afghanistan. It made the empire fabulously, unimaginably wealthy. And Naram-Sin, well, he wanted everyone to know who was boss. Just look at his most famous monument, the Victory Stele. I mean, it says it all. There he is, larger than life, literally trampling his enemies under his feet. But look closer. Look at his helmet. See those horns? That's a huge deal. In Mesopotamia, horns were for the gods, period. No human was supposed to wear them. And this wasn't just him being arrogant with his art. No, he made it official. This inscription here says that the people of his own city begged him to become their god. And so he did. Naram-Sin became the first king in Mesopotamian history to declare himself a living deity. I mean, that's the ultimate power move, the final terrifying step in the blueprint. But you know what they say, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And even a god king can't rule forever. After hitting this unbelievable peak, the Akkadian Empire didn't just fade away, it collapsed. It fell apart, fast and hard, proving that even the most powerful states on Earth can be incredibly fragile. So what happened? Well, it was kind of a perfect storm. The cities they had conquered were constantly rebelling. You had new invaders, a group called the Gutians, attacking from the mountains. But the real knockout blow, and this is something we've only really understood from recent climate data, was environmental. a sudden, catastrophic 300-year-long drought hit the region. It would have caused mass famine and chaos, making it pretty much impossible for the empire to hold itself together. The city of Akkad was wiped out, its exact location lost to history. The Akkadian Empire was gone. But its most powerful invention, the very idea of empire, that was just getting started. It was an idea far too powerful to simply die. And that legacy, it just echoed for centuries. For the next 2,000 years, the great kings of the Near East looked back to Sargon and Akkad as the gold standard. Hammurabi of Babylon, he based his rule on Sargon's model. The terrifying Assyrians, they worshipped Sargon as the ultimate king. And get this, nearly 1,800 years later, the king of Babylon was literally digging up the ruins of Akkad, trying to unearth their ancient secrets to power. It's just incredible. So, here's the thought I want to leave you with. The Akkadian state, the physical empire, it vanished into dust. But Sargon's blueprint for power, a loyal army, centralized control, a single powerful ruler, the use of propaganda, that never went away. It became the template for pretty much every empire that followed, shaping the world we all live in today. Which really makes you wonder, did Sargon's empire ever truly fall? Or does it just go by other names now?